So you need that D in your life, huh? Get your mind out the gutter. That's not this type of episode. Yep. But no, the D I'm talking about is discipline. Yeah, I know. Corny. Who cares? But discipline. We need discipline. And emphasis on we, because I'm including myself. This is about me. I don't know you. I don't know what you need. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who need discipline like I do. And discipline is a very physical thing to me. It's a very actionable thing. But it's very mental as well, because we all know it all starts in the mind. The mind is the biggest roadblock. And that's why they say it's the longest road, the longest journey to your soul. Getting past your mind to get to your heart, to get to the wisdom, to get to the knowledge that is within you. And I'm going to get into that, the inner voice, the wisdom, the knowledge that I feel like a lot of people in the spiritual community talk about, but they don't never really tell you, like their inner voice or their intuition. What is it more? Because to me, I don't even really like saying trust your voice or trust your intuition, because what I learned is that I feel like the voice that they're telling you to listen to does need healing initially, especially if you're black and you carry like that wounded ego, that defeated ego, that inferior ego that you have to detach from, the conditioning that you carry from your ancestors, thinking that you're less than, you're not worthy, from feeling like a chicken in a chicken coop, not feeling free, all of that programming and conditioning you have to detach from. That is a part of what people listen to is their ego. And, being a woman, being wounded, the conditioning that I have around how I see men and vice versa. Like, you can't listen to your intuition all the time, because a lot of times it's coming from a place of pain, trauma, wounds that have not yet been healed. And so if you don't really know how to detach and decipher and discern that the highest of that voice and not the lowest of that voice, then you will be falling into a trap. And generally that trap is dividing and conquering. And that's why I don't tell people, listen to your inner voice, listen to that, yada, 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 because how can I tell you to listen to something when I don't even know what that voice is telling you to do? And this is what I say, like, spirituality is kind of a pompous community. Like, I'm sorry, it sounds bad, but it's like the way that things are preached is like, you think just because you done meditated and did a little bit of this and did a little bit of that, now you're holier than thou, and you can just go preaching stuff and not really breaking down and explaining for people to actually understand. And it's kind of like, it makes people who carry a lot of insecurities fearful to even ask questions, because they fear what your reaction is, for you to clown them. Bro, you don't know what this is? You don't know, like you didn't just find out yesterday. And that comes a lot with how to gain confidence, is knowing that nobody knows nothing. And people who, when they do know, they didn't know it once before. Everybody was a beginner at one point. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. That's how you start to become confident and not let people clown you and not care about what people think just because you're asking questions, But yeah, discipline. It's a very mental thing, because your mind, especially now with all the pandemic and everything, everybody has been so sedentary for so long. Even if you've been like walking or doing stretching or doing yoga, like a lot of us are not ready for the real world again. Like, going to work and dealing with normal everyday stresses that we had built a tolerance of. Now it's like we don't have that tolerance. And I don't even know if I could handle the normal everyday stresses of being beat down by a boss every day at work. Like, I would probably snap or break down. Like, and when I say snap, I don't mean like in a violent way. I mean like I probably would break down or lose it, because I have not been accustomed to that. And that's why we have to have empathy for those who didn't get that break during this pandemic. The people who have been working since the pandemic started, they deal with a whole different level of stress that we are dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a stress, and we just all need to have empathy and compassion for each other. But, I've been trying to get back into the groove of things, trying to go work out, trying to go, socialize and do my runs, do walks, do job applications, and that's a whole nother story. The whole process is freaking annoying if you ask me, but yeah, I'll save that for a random rant day. But yeah, like I went to the gym the other day with my husband, and I have migraines and they get very triggered easily, and I know all my triggers, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But I know one of them is like exertion. So if I'm not fully hydrated, or taking it slow, or doing like warm up and cool downs and stretches, like my body's just basically gone to a very sensitive state because of the dormancy and the sedentary type life. Even though I haven't just been lazing around, but like I said, just not being in the midst of the world, and that energy has made me sensitive to them. And because I'm more consciously aware, that knowing consciously in my mind makes it even worse. I feel the impact worse because I can feel my body every time it feels some level of discomfort. And these headaches last for days, and I've gotten to the point where now I actually have to take like muscle relaxers or other medicine to kind of combat the tension that I carry in my neck and my shoulders and my upper back just from the stress. Even when I'm feeling like, oh, I'm not stressed, my body is still feeling stressed. And a lot of it comes from feeling defeated, still feeling like, why haven't I reached the level of success, of financial freedom that I'm looking for, that I want, that I know I deserve, that I know I'm worthy of. And just like stressing over what am I going to do with my life, with my career, with my future, my family, all these things. Me and my husband, we both are hardworking, great people, and it's just like, you walk through life and nobody ever acknowledges that or validates that. And not that you should need that, but we're human, and we can stop pretending like we don't feel like we should get some level of reinforcement in life. You're the hardest working person, and you never get that acknowledgement. And so it just does something to you after a while. Like I said, it just further defeats your spirit and debilitates you to the point of depression. And I have another video I just posted about that, so look into it. It's called The Simulation of Life. And yeah, I kind of constantly talk about depression a lot. That's important. But yeah, discipline. It's a practice that you have to have, and something that you have to get past your mind. Like, I can't let the fact that I have these migraines and that I get sore and that I feel sick stop me from doing it. I have to keep going. I have to keep pushing. I have to write down my list over and over until I stay consistent, get the routine. And the discipline is not just a physical thing. It is actionable, but it's not just like fitness. It's, discipline in my health, discipline in my spirit, discipline, religiously or spiritually. If you do any type of thing like that, it's a holistic practice. Practice, meaning you have to consistently do it. And even when you fall off, even if it's not every day, just keep doing some things. Keep ticking off these small promises every day. Keep prioritizing your self-care, even if it's bubble baths and washing your face and washing your behind. Like, believe it or not, that is a hard task for people who go through depression. Like, just pulling yourself up and getting your hair fixed. Like, I feel great because my hair, I just got it done. My sister did my hair for me, and it's like, it's amazing how beauty can uplift your spirit and just give you a new pep in your step. Like, looking a certain way and feeling presentable to the world is amazing. This is why I feel like nobody has a hierarchy and worth. And just because you may feel like, I'm just a barber, I'm just a beautician, I'm just a makeup artist, you don't know what you could be really doing to a person's spirit and how you can uplift them by giving them a simple hairdo, a simple haircut, a simple makeover. These things may seem materialistic and superficial at first glance, but they do a lot for us when you feel like you don't have much more to offer, when you don't have much more to show for in your life. And so, just keep pushing and just keep doing little things. Make a list, create a calendar. I do a lot of stuff on my phone. I've talked about this before, but I've been in dark place. This is a very hard time for me. Like, seasonal affective disorder. I don't really like labels, especially in the, psychology of things, because they kind of just mess with your psyche and your spirit even more. But, I'm here to let you know that you're not alone. If you suffer with depression, post-traumatic slave syndrome, the seasonal affective disorder, when the seasons change, you feel more depressed in a certain time, like the winter times, because there's less light. There's so many things that that kind of affect your mood, and you have to get ahead of it. That's why I'm always saying, stay in the driver's seat, stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. That's all part of the idea of when you're able to consciously be aware and recognize things, you can kind of get out of it easier. But when you're really stuck into it and you don't even realize what's going on, then you can be stuck in these situations for years, months, decades, whatever, and not even realize you were stuck in that dark space for so long. But that's all I want to say on this. Simple. Just focus on getting disciplined, man. Like, do what you got to do to get your bag, like go to school, figure out what's growing right now. Don't get so stuck in the spiritual trend that right now that you're thinking squishing berries and doing whatever is going to get you the generational wealth and the success and happiness that you want. Like, it's okay to do things that, financially will bring you more compensation. Like, it's okay to be a computer technician or a nurse or these regular jobs that don't seem spiritual or whatever. They all have a purpose behind them. It's all about you and your heart that makes something purposeful and makes something spiritual. The acting itself is not automatically spiritual, because you can be doing yoga every day and be one of the most evil people around. So don't let people condition you as well in spirituality. Because honestly, it's almost seems like the spiritual community is becoming more boxy and religious-esque in the negative sense of the connotation around it than religion in itself or the world in itself. It's like, is the community here to help or what? But yeah, that's all.